so well. Oh, horror, fantasy, the stories we tell. Sci-fi dreams where the stars collapse. Comic books stacked high in gaps. Mike and Tom, they light the flame. The first, the last, the Nerdom name. Voices sharp like the edge of time. Diving deep in a world sublime.
Welcome back to the First, the Last, the Nerdom, the podcast where we dive deep into the fandom, tell cult classics and everything in between. But this week, we're kicking off something a little different. Yeah, we're showing up on a Wednesday. It's a special series we like to call Binge Worthy. Here's how it works. We pick a TV show, maybe something we love, maybe something that's been sitting around our watch list for years, and we watch the first two episodes to find out, does it hook us or lose us? Is it a show you keep on while folding laundry, or one you end up watching until 3 a.m.? In other words, is it binge worthy? And to start things off, we're going big, bold and bizarre and British, with 1967 cult TV series The Prisoner. Part psychological thriller, part sci-fi dystopia. The Prisoner stars Patrick McGoohan as former secret agent who resigns, only to wake up in a mysterious Orwellian village where everyone's got a number and no one has a name. Surreal, stylish, and way ahead of its time. The Prisoner is one of those shows that's been whispered about in pop culture circles for decades, but does it still hold up? Does its cryptic storytelling and Cold War paranoia pull you in or push you away? This episode, we're diving into the first two chapters, unpacking the strangeness, the symbolism, and whether or not we're ready to stick around and be number two. So, cue the penny farthing, mind the giant balloon, and prepare to question reality, because this is binge worthy. And today we're asking if The Prisoner's worth being captured by, only on the First, the Last, and Nerdom. I'm here with number 5, and I'm number 69. No, no, Mike and Tom here.
Absolutely, yeah. And before we get into the penny furthering this wonderful plunge into the unusual here, we are the First Last Nerdom, like Tom said, and this is our. Well, you can find us mainly on YouTube, and whatnot. And I'll let you kick off the socials here.
Yeah, I'm on Reddit. I promote us on different subreddits. So if you're coming from that subreddit, welcome, and I hope you enjoy your stay. And then I'm also on X. I advertise their stuff on there. Both Reddit and X, I'm as First Last Nerdom. But yeah, check me out there if you want to keep in touch with us.
Yeah, I too am also on X. You can find me there, and I am there. And occasionally, Tom, if you want to have a conversation with us, we'd love to have you, or whatever captures your fancy, or if you have some feedback, good or bad, we would love to hear it. Also, I'm co-host on the AM post morning show and the PM late show for America's Talk Show with Raleigh and Raul. And likewise, I'm also into a weekly thing called Step Into Cafe Americana. I'm co-host. We're main host, Professor Kenny, and Andre Dobriansky, and I kind of dive into classic Sunday news morning show with audience feedback, with heavy hitters like Aaron Reyes and Daryl from Philly. So. Shout out to Daryl, shout out to Aaron. Anyway, I also do longer form content on my Substack, ApeIt.Ink. But more, enough beating around the bush here, to the main event here of this mid-century matrix that is the cultural coordinates of The Prisoner. Where the hell are we, and what the hell are we doing? One thing you will not be doubtful about is are these actors from the UK?
Yes, I've always been an Anglophile, always been fascinated by the UK. So, this was I was immediately taken by it being British. But yeah, I'd heard about this. Actually, the first time I heard about this series was they did a 4-issue miniseries in DC. I think it was under the Vertigo label. DC
Really?
Comics did a little miniseries on this, and I was kind of intrigued by it. I was like, oh wow, this is a comic book based on an old 60s TV series, and I didn't read the comic book because I wanted to check out the series first, but I didn't actually get around or had access to it until the 2000s or late 1990s to the 2000s when AMC started to air this. So up front, I have seen the whole series. This is the one that I brought to the table to expose Mike to and see if he what his thoughts on it. But yeah, I picked up like the DVDs back in the 2000s, and then not too long ago I picked up the nice Blu-ray of the series. It's airing on, I believe, Tubi. So yeah, if you're just watching us because you like us and are in kind of interested in what we're talking about, the series is out there for you to check out if you're so inclined. But yeah, let me check. Yeah, it is on Tubi. So definitely, if you wanted to check out those 2 episodes, now the order of appearance of these, obviously there's a definite beginning episode and definite end episode, but the episodes in between, they've shuffled them around. There's not like a clear definition, so I probably should have checked with Mike to see which first two he watched. Obviously, I'm sure we both watched the beginning episode, but
Pilot.
the
So
the pilot.
so what I saw essentially would have been a pilot, and then episode one. I went off of the Roku channel. Is where I was able to
Gotcha.
watch this one guy at. And
Mhm.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring the link up here momentarily
Mhm.
while we are waltzing Matilda through this wonderful film. Excuse me. Prime.
Yeah,
Prime.
so the trying to
Listener, Mike, there you
mm.
go. Good job. Sorry. Yeah. So whatever they called episode 1 and 2 is what I saw on Roku. So yeah, we didn't quite
Yeah.
coordinate up, but
Yep, yeah. The,
essentially,
Go ahead,
essentially
sorry.
what I got was like the first one I think was the pilot because really the second episode kind of like you kind of like land. It was very you know what, at the top of this I'll say this reminded me a lot of Lost for some reason.
Mhm.
I don't know. Did you get that or no or I guess
Well, I saw this series before Lost, so
wait. Okay.
obviously, yeah.
Well,
So
right.
so
For my
yeah, I didn't
reference
have
point,
that
you're right.
as a
Right.
reference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. But yeah, so basically, this is a British secret agent who, this is probably like the best intro I've ever seen of a TV series. It's like short and sweet. It's like 3 or 4 minutes of sort of summing up without any words of what's going on, and you know immediately what's going on. So yeah, he drives up to to the offices, and I love his car. I
Me too.
want that car. I've always wanted that car. But he shows up and he's angry. He throws down his resignation papers. He resigns. He goes back home. This other guy follows him and shoots some gas into his home, and he wakes up in this thing called the Village. Okay, yeah, Chimes of Big Ben is the second episode that I saw. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're on the same page.
Okay.
The
Good.
Arrival, and so yeah, so the Arrival, he shows up. Yeah, wonderful intro, and the Village is a character in and of itself. It's like this it's a real little village. I would love to actually visit that someday. But it's really cool looking village. It has a distinctive look to it. I forget the name of the place. But yeah, and Patrick McGoohan, he has a very expressive face,
Oh God.
and
Yeah.
yeah, he's the main character of the series, obviously, and he's almost in every single scene. The conceit of the series is that he keeps there's a again, everybody's a number in this village. It's built up of maybe other secret agents, different people that have secrets that they're trying to crack, that aren't that they feel shouldn't be out in public, because what kind of havoc they're going to wreak. So they're kind of captured, brought to this village, and they
Hmm.
kind of try to crack their nut as far as the information to get out of them, and then who knows what happens to them after they get that information. But there's this sort of like this mind game, and the guy that's in charge is number two. You assume there's a number one, but you never see that number one.
Right.
But you're always dealing with number two, and the seed of the show is that there's sort of like a mind game between the Patrick McGoohan, who's number six in the series. He's kind of uh, you know playing at odds with the number two, and in each episode he sort of gets the best of number two,
Right.
and the number two is replaced every episode. So the number two is a different actor each time. So there's not a whole lot of reoccurring characters. Basically, it's the Patrick McGoohan show.
Right.
And the interesting another interesting little tidbit is this is on the success of his show called Danger Man in the UK, and in the US it was called Secret Agent, and where he played a secret agent, and it's never been explicit, but the idea is that maybe the secret agent from that secret agent show, John Drake, which is played by Patrick McGoohan in that previous series,
Right.
maybe that character is the one that resigns that gets on this little village.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's that it is. And then of course this is back at 67 through 68.
Hmm.
That this was like where the genre of spy master or spy, that kind of thing was very much in play in other aspects of entertainment culture, for sure, like double oh
Yeah.
007, da, 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 but this it was also very manic. So like you really kind of feel the psychological free fall, like as you kind of see his character arc go from being angry to kind of
Hmm.
poking and prodding and testing
Hmm.
the bounds of the system, so to speak.
Hmm.
And then when as the story progresses, it really they screw with him so much. Like I don't know, I think at one point he says, I'm gonna escape here, and then I'm gonna go back to the outside, and I'm gonna come back, and then he's like, come back, and he's like, yeah, to level your ass. He didn't say it like that, he said it more British, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
it meant business, 100%. But yeah, this was it was a binge. I get, well, we'll answer the question at the end of the show, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say too, that I had meant to bring up. I wanted to commend you on the artwork that you did. And let me bring that up here. Shame on me for not having it up there. Your thumbnail game, my friend, is strong here. This thumbnail made me want to watch it. Like it draws you in and be like, what is that? And there's they do so well, for obviously it was all practical effects back then. But
Mhm.
they do such a good job of this as it comes out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, there's a
kudos
lot
to
of
you.
like primary colors, so I wanted to get to capture that in the thumbnail, the um how they the bright reds and the bright greens and yellows and blues of the show. It's very very eye catching as far as the colors, color scape of the village, and what
These
the
thumbnails
village
suck.
people wear in there. But yeah, the talk about world building. This
I
the
know. Yeah.
village is world building in and of itself. And I did find where it was filmed. It was filmed in Port Marion in northern North Wales.
Okay.
So
Mm.
it's a real place. I think it's been pretty much untouched. So yeah, it looks. I've seen like pictures of maybe not recent pictures, but recent enough to where does look pretty much the same. But it has that little village has such a character to itself that it's unlike anything you've ever seen. So that it gives the prisoner show sort of that touch of surrealness to it that it really needs. This is a show that's way way before its time. You think of TV shows in the 60s, you don't normally get this surreal, especially not American TV.
Mm-mm.
Although it was I believe shown in on CBS in the US. Um, it was only ever well, there's a debate on how many episodes it was going to be, but it is only 17 episodes. So yeah, if we decide it's binge worthy, it's not like a huge it's not like one of those series. I hate this about TV series where you're talking to a friend and they say there's already 5 seasons of a show, 10 episodes a season, and they go, well, it doesn't really get good until the third series or the third season. So, so what? I'm gonna have to spend 20 hours to get to something good? No, I don't think so. No, no. This is only 17 episodes, and I would say that they're all good, but we'll get a little bit further in there, and we'll start making those speculations. But yeah, there's also, since it is in the 60s, there is sort of that 60s charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
There it's almost kind of a just that charm of a older
Yeah,
series where you're not gonna yeah
but not campy like Batman or anything like
yeah
that. They do now
right
some of the physical effects or the tech, the gadget porn or the
hmm
gadget nerddom that they have going on works very well. And it plays. It's almost like this is like it's almost like like a extended Black Mirror kind of
yep
kind of
yep
situation. And even in vote, I mean, this is well, Twilight Zone was before this, but it doesn't
hmm
have that ambiguity and that kind of that cyclical nature of like a Twilight Zone, but it does play on the periphery, maybe a little bit beyond that one. But Black Mirror, I got
hmm
was
hmm
another one that I was reminded of, obviously in Lost too. There's
hmm
this bizarre quality of the
yeah
world. Again, and I love how they enter into it. You don't think that this is a crazy person at all, which I love.
yeah
And they
hmm
do that very well. But I just wanted to mention that.
yeah, they
Um,
get that solid foundation of who he is, and they do it so well in that, like I said, that opening credits scene or the little beginning portion of the and that works so well for because they play it on in each of the episodes, so you kind of can't get, even if you don't see the pilot episode, you kind of know what's going on immediately from that little vignette that that credit scene that gets played at the beginning there. But yeah, it is a really nice sort of setup. Yeah, I was going to say that with a pilot episode, traditionally you get to go on location and spend a little bit more money on a pilot, so you get they're there at the where they film the village, and they get a lot of the aerial. They had a
right.
helicopter scene, and they really got to spend some money
Big
on it.
but big big money
Yeah.
for back then. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, to make it look really good, and then and then they reuse some of those scenes in other episodes. But yeah, then the like was beginning with the second episode, you see a lot of sets that imitate the locations, which is another part maybe the charm of older series, because you got to save money where you can because TV series, they didn't have a whole lot of money back then, so to spend on that. So, yeah, you did get some of those But the sets actually look pretty decent. I mean,
I,
not obviously you want to go on location if you could, um, but they still look pretty decent.
well, the quality of the camera work. I mean, it was. I was surprised. Like it.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, it's in the '60s, but like, I mean, really. I mean, granted, I am used to watching older things because I'm a Turner Classic Movies nut, um, of like the last year probably. But they did a very good job, and they play this so well. Just the whole thing from the gadgets to the thing. This is one of those things that like I want to watch more. I'll kind of spoil, not to spoil my enthusiasm for this, but like
Mhm.
and at first you kind of the first half of the arrival, I was like, I don't know, and then as you kind of ease into it, you're lulled into the world building again, and it really it even had aspects that reminded me of like kind of Westworld from the standpoint of like
Oh yeah. Mhm.
of maybe the grain of film or whatever, I don't, it just kind of or just
Mhm.
the era probably more or less than anything else, but like
Mhm.
it had a believable qualities that made you suspend disbelief, to really to really get into it. And
Yeah.
I would I'm just I have some of these things that are coming up I probably shouldn't be looking at, but you know
Sort of spoil.
um
Yeah.
but yeah, but the whole, and really it's not, I mean, you kind of got to watch what's going on, you got to pay attention because it does kind of zing
Mhm.
around. I think it did seem to slow down a little bit, but the first episode was like boom. I mean, you're in there.
Yeah,
um
he's zipping around, going to places, and really, he's on a mission to get out of there, And it plays a lot like, yeah, I don't. If you filmed it today, you wouldn't probably wouldn't do too much different. I mean, this just the I obviously you'd probably put a little bit more action scenes in. That's another thing about this show is that you really have to kind of rely on the writing to be engaging because back then special effects weren't really a thing in TV, and obviously one of the things that sort of keeps everybody in the village is this big white bouncing ball that sometimes looks menacing and sometimes looks ridiculous.
hmm
But that's some of the charm of it. But yeah, thankfully you don't see it too often. But yeah, so but yeah, there's sort of a yeah they kind of maintain a sort of like this creepy element to it where obviously you don't know who's behind this. What's going on, and they are very adept at kind of keeping that tension there
oh yeah.
of not revealing too much, but kind of keeping the audience engaged. A lot of the I also love a lot of the sci-fi tech that's in it.
hmm
The it's very charming. I enjoy the little cell phones that they have where they talk to various people like number one. But yeah, um, and I have to say, her uh, Patrick McGoohan is one of my favorite actors. That's during that time when you got actors that really looked interesting. Nowadays, it's more or less you get the pretty boy in there and a nice looking guy to look at. Whereas
Right.
back then, they got really interesting people with interesting facial characteristics. You wouldn't mistake Patrick for anybody else. He has that distinct look to
hmm
him.
Yeah, and actually it kind of sets itself up as its own marker, right?
Mhm,
So when you don't see him and it's other characters, it's just it builds that tension, and it makes you more curious than anything else. And there's a couple
mhm,
shots here there that kind of don't make sense, or they're
mhm,
very quick. But I mean, it's a TV show. But
mhm,
for the time it was made and what you get, it is surprise, like you are drawn into it, and I was
mhm.
impressed by the storytelling and the you can tell that you're in for a long ride. Like, but more important, you're interested in what's going on and what the
Mhm.
hell, like
Yeah. yeah, and like I said, it kind of leads off of the TV series Secret Agent. Now that was black and white. This is definitely in color. Secret Agent. I haven't seen all of it. Danger Man. That's shown there. That's I started watching that series. I haven't made my way all the way through Danger Man. But it's more of a traditional sort of a spy TV series. That's engaging because Patrick McGoohan's engaging.
Yep.
There's like I think 4 or 5 seasons of that, and then like I said, Patrick kind of got tired of doing that and wanted to do something different. And there's kind of a conflict on um, Patrick was maybe responsible for the creation of the prisoner. There's another person that also gets kind of co-creation, but there's like a conflict of maybe the other guy had completely created it and Patrick kind of took credit for it or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kind of conflicting stories on that, but whoever came up with it, I think came up with a winner there. but um, but yeah, like I said, Danger Man. If you really like the Prisoner, you might want to go back to that, and if you can't get enough of that Patrick McGoohan.
Yeah, but it's so funny. I think this also holds up too because like some of the things that we've covered in the last few months have to do or around or in or out around surveillance.
Yeah.
And that part plays surveillance and control. Da 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 da. So if you extrapolate this, we're I'm sure it's already out there, but like where you understand that like there are limits to control and surveillance, but this one really pushes it over the edge to like everything around me is it's almost like a more twisted version of the Jim Carrey movie the Truman Show,
Yeah.
in a bizarre way, but a little bit more serious than that one was for
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
getting. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was like again, you can like you had mentioned, you saw this obviously came first, but there's DNA there that you recognize of
Right. Yeah.
of Lost and
Very
Black Mirror,
influential.
right?
Yeah. Very influential show. Yeah. That's got like yeah, you can see where people have kind of picked up what what the prisoners laid down and kind of built off of that. Yeah, I've always been fascinated and interested in stories about paranoia. Just because you think they're coming after you doesn't mean that they're not. That this whole thing about these secret organization coming after you, and there's a lot, obviously, there's a bit of X-Files kind of comes from this, obviously, with the the conspiracies and whatnot. There's so many different shows that, even Twin Peaks,
Oh
the
yeah.
the whole quirkiness of Twin Peaks, um, has, there's flavors of that within this series. The fact that it's kind of, it is episodic. You watch an episode and get a full story, but there is sort of like this through line that goes through the series, and it does definitely have a definite ending. I'm really curious your thoughts of the ending of the series as well. There's a bit of there's answers that are given, and then there's some that aren't. Yeah, it's a bit the controversial ending. So
Well,
uh,
Well, I mean, I guess the short answer I give without giving too much away is you are at episode 2, and then you want to roll. I'm gonna be honest with you, like it took me a minute to not want to roll right into episode 3. So I think I'm kind of foreshadowing a little bit of my rating on this one, but yeah. What if you want something that is safe and predictable, stick with The Office.
Yeah.
If you want your brain twisted while your expectations are shattered before your eyes, I could see where this would be, a 17, I think that total of 17 episodes
Hmm.
in
Yep.
total. But like, it made me want to come back for more. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and it has some classic lines like "I am not a number, I'm a free man." There's that whole little monologue there at the begin. Well, actually, back and forth between him and number two that begins each episode.
Yeah,
That kind of introduces the number two, because the number two switches out at the beginning there. But yeah, it's yeah, it's one of those shows where a lot of times when you watch a TV series, especially if you're binging it, you watch that intro once, and then you're skipping through or fast forwarding through it, because you want to get to the show, and you're kind of bored with the intro. With this series, I'm always I always watch that intro, and then I always enjoyed the little music at the end with the yeah, I love all the iconic imagery in the show too, with the bicycle with the giant wheel. I forget what they're called, but that's sort of like the image of the show. It's on their little buttons and on everything there. And then but yeah, the village itself, the people that populate it are very very British and very engaging. Like there's always like an old colonel there playing chess with with
oh
number
yeah,
six.
yeah, the old admiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Um,
some of the things you kind of just you go with, you're not
mhm.
going to spend too much time on how they make a boat and all this, but you just kind of accept it. And it also had kind of I'll just go to it. The actor here was apparently escaped from Alcatraz, which is very interesting in and of itself. But I won't
Mhm.
spend too much time on that one. But I was going to say too, it's on Roku. It's
Mhm.
actually at a few different places that you can watch it now. So I love
Yep.
that it's out
Yeah,
there
like I
for
said,
free.
Tubi as well.
You
Yeah.
don't have to pay nothing. You do the
Mhm.
account and you're good. And and if to be honest with you, if you have a good ad blocker on your browser, you're not going to see ads. I certainly did, and that was nice to have. But
Mhm.
I would also
Yeah, and it's
recommend it highly on investing in the in the physical media, which you did.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of cool extras on it, like a nice little documentary. I haven't watched it yet, but a lot of cool little things. There's an alternate version of a couple of the episodes, interviews and all sorts of stuff. There's like a list of extras there. I won't go through them all,
Right.
but yeah,
Very
cool.
neat.
I don't think it's very expensive, but yeah, if you watch a couple and you want to engage with it. Also, this is back when they didn't show too many commercials, so each episode's pretty meaty at a 50 minute around 50
Hmm.
minutes a piece. So yeah, no, normal TV series now, if they're on broadcast television, they're about 40 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, so good solid stories. Like I said, they kind of have to rely on the storytelling, because the action's not really there, so you get a
No.
really and each episode's sort of like a mind game between number six and number two. And to each each number two has their strengths and weaknesses. There are some better, some really good number twos, and then there's some bad ones.
Right.
So they're sort of like a grab bag of the various episodes. But yeah, the I think one of my favorites was number two, the number two in the second episode. The chimes of Big Ben. He's
Yeah.
so loud and boisterous and very engaging. He's a very good kind of actor to kind of play off of McGoohan. McGoohan sort of kind of stoic and sort of matter of fact
Right.
kind of guy. With a kind of playful charm as well. But yeah, one of my favorite actors. He can be serious but also funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And have a little bit of a charm to him. So
I can see why.
so
Yeah.
you're Even
Okay.
though he has a scowl to his face, you're still with him. He's not he's not Mr. Sour Pants. He does have a engaging aspect to him
Well,
as
and
well.
I think that the fact that it's UK and it's English actor, I think that is all the difference in the world. I don't know that this would translate it very well if it was American. It would have been maybe it could have, but what we got was perfectly fine. I was gonna say too. I lost my train of thought, but this kind of some of the action is a little campy, just a little bit, but I think
Yeah,
that's more due to age and budget and things. But
absolutely.
it's kind of like Charlton Heston and Omega Man, like where you kind of have this very much the blocking is pretty much telegraphed. But it's even
Yeah.
still though it's charming in its own way,
Hmm.
especially
But yeah.
coming from the time period it did. But yeah,
Yeah, and it's very much a passion project for Patrick McGoohan. He actually wrote a few of the episodes and directed a few of the episodes too, under assumed names, pseudonyms. But yeah, he was very very passionate about the series. So yeah, and again, it almost has a little bit of that original Star Trek to it as well. That sort of interesting speculative sci-fi, with playing around with different ideas. Like I did go ahead and watch like the third episode. There was a they kind of get into tapping into his dreams, and there's like he's kind of doing the mind games even within his dreams. So yeah, they know how to kind of play around with things and do things, kind of unexpected things within the series, and kind of play with the bigger concepts. It allows you to kind of read more into it. You could treat it like a surface level show that you kind of watch, but it does have some really interesting thought ideas that you
right.
can expand on. We didn't really do that here
Nope.
because it's more sort of like a
A taste.
overview of a taste of it to just kind of get you maybe interested in seeing it. Again, with the series, we're kind of pushing forth shows either that we know and love, and we're kind of trying to expose our co-pilot here
Yep.
and the audience here to see it. If the audience, I was thinking that maybe on whichever one that gets the most views or whatnot, maybe do a follow-up on
Yep.
it and do a binge thing on it. But yeah, no, obviously we will want to be all for it as well,
Sure. Yeah, no, I look forward to seeing where this goes in this new series that we're doing, and
Mhm.
this was a hell of a good quality pilot for
Yeah.
it. So looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing
And
where it
then
goes.
yeah. And there's a news site for this show. So if you want to know a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
more, I
sure.
sent Mike the link. There's we'll have it in the description hopefully. But yeah, they are working. They are coming out with little action figures
That's so
of
cool. Yeah,
the
yeah.
prisoner. So
Mhm.
so if you want to get your own little action figure, but there's a lot of little news things in here and little merchandise.
Right.
So if you become like a huge prisoner fan, I don't know what the fans are called. I probably should find out what the fans are called. But yeah, if you become like a huge fan and want to get in on all the merchandise, there's plenty of stuff there, and a lot of news little things on it. But yeah, I follow their account on Facebook. So I'm always, every once in a while they'll pop up there. So if you follow them on Facebook,
That's awesome.
you can keep up with them as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think we're wrapping up. This is a good
I think
solid
so.
thumbs up, and go check it out and tell us what you guys think out there in the big
Yeah,
wide world.
absolutely.
Um,
Yep. And
but
we're gonna probably do 4 episodes of this binge worthy thing. I'll
cool.
pick a couple of shows. Mike's gonna pick a couple of
Oh
shows,
yeah,
and like I said,
let's do it.
um, you know, we'll make the ultimate decision. But I believe if one of these get like a huge number of views, we might. The problem with these series, as opposed to us covering a movie's one and done where we talk about it. But with TV series, if we're going to cover the whole thing, we got to do it in a few episodes, and we want to do a series that people are engaged with, that want to view it. Me and Mike, we don't mind talking to ourselves, but
Yep.
we do would like to have an audience as well.
Yep, yep. But you can always catch us at the First Last Nerdom on YouTube,
Mhm.
as well as the other social media, which we covered at the top. And we just want to say thank you so much for hopefully you got something out of this, and also for last week where we covered did a little plug-in Sinners out now on Max, as well as the one before that, which is cyber or the end of our cyberpunk month with Judge Dredd,
Mhm.
or Dredd, 2012.
Mhm.
But I think that we'll cap it there, and I'll say
Yeah,
go see this, and it's already halfway there because it's free. So you don't have to go out of your way. So
absolutely. Yeah, and also the audience out there, if you have a show that you because there's like a ton, there's so many TV shows now that you kind of get lost. Speaking of British and spies, I really got into Slow Horses. So yeah, it's kind of weird that we're covering this because I'm also reading the book series based off of that. So I'm all a British spied up right now. That's
right on.
everything that we're covering. But yeah, if there's a TV series that you think we would like, or that you'd want us to cover, that you think is binge worthy, we may tack on an extra episode. If there's a lot of demand for a particular show that we
Absolutely,
check out.
absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say this is one to check out. But I've been
Hmm.
Mike.
Yeah, and if we don't follow up with this, definitely check it out on your own. And yeah, and I'm Tom, and be seeing you.